Alright, confession time. I was friend. The one who'd politely nod while you gushed about your vision board. All while secretly, at 2 a.m., my thumb was hovering over my banking app, bracing myself for the inevitable panic. So, when I tell you these 5 utterly bizarre, slightly woo-woo spiritual money hacks dropped a cool $4,800 into my account in just 30 days, please understand, I did not see it coming. And I mean truly didn't. We're talking about everything from surprise refunds showing up out of nowhere, to a freelance client suddenly offering double my usual rate, to a medical bill that just quietly vanished from my portal. Seriously. Stick around, especially for hack number 3. That one actually made my accountant text me a question mark emoji. Yeah, it's that good. Picture this. Me, the quintessential spreadsheet girl, with color-coded everything, convinced that manifesting was just a fancy word for overly filtered Instagram captions. My bills? Total auto-pay carnage. My savings account? A running joke, honestly. I was grinding, I was hustling, and frankly, I was just plain tired. Then came one particularly broke Tuesday, a day when my coffee was cold, and my spirit was colder, and I just muttered, "Fine, universe. You win. I'll try your woo-woo nonsense. 30 days. No excuses. Let's see what happens." I scribbled 5 seemingly absurd rituals on a sticky note, fully expecting to prove they were all just fluff, a distraction from the real work of making money. My plan was to then triumphantly return to my familiar cycle of stress and spreadsheets. Spoiler alert. The numbers on my bank statement flipped so hard, so fast, that now the one texting screenshots at 2 a.m. And trust me, they're not panic checks anymore. Ready to dive into how this happened? Let's roll. Hack 1. The gratitude rewire. This one sounds deceptively simple, but don't let that fool you. Every single morning, before my fingers even about touching my phone, before the news, before the emails, before the doom scroll, I make myself list 3 things money allowed me to experience yesterday. And I mean, it's not just I'm grateful for food, it's thank you for the money that let me enjoy that ridiculously hot shower this morning, melting away yesterday's stress. Or, thank you for the money that put gas in my car, making my commute smooth instead of stressful. Or even, thank you money for Spotify Premium, letting me skip those annoying ads and just vibe. But here's where the magic really kicks in. After those backward-looking thank yous, I add one future thank you, phrased as if the cash has arrived. Something like, thank you for the $1,200 that lands in my account today with 0 effort, or I'm so grateful for the unexpected bonus that just showed up. Writing it in the past tense is crucial. It literally hijacks your brain's confirmation bias. Your subconscious, which, let's be real, is always looking for proof of whatever you tell it, suddenly starts hunting for evidence that this deposit, this bonus, this has already happened. It's like telling your brain, hey, this is a done deal, now go find where it is. I remember on day 6, I wrote, thank you for the surprise refund that made my day. By lunchtime, my phone pinged. It was an email. My gym membership, which I'd overpaid by some obscure administrative error, had just refunded me $97. Coincidence? Maybe. But once is a fluke, twice is interesting, and 4 times? That's a pattern, my friend. This daily practice isn't just about feeling good. It's about shifting your energetic vibration around money. When you appreciate what you have and what's coming, you create a magnetic field that attracts more of it. It's like telling the universe, yes, please, more of this wonderful stuff. And trust me, the universe listens. Hack 2, the wallet spa. Okay, this one might sound a little whimsical, but hear me out. For years, my wallet was a graveyard of expired coupons, faded receipts from 2018, punch cards for coffee shops I no longer visited, and probably a rogue paperclip or 2. It was a disaster zone. Then, I had an epiphany. Why was I treating the literal home of my money with such disrespect? So, I cleaned my wallet like it was a 5-star guest room, preparing for a millionaire to move in. Out went all the ancient clutter. Seriously, if it wasn't current or essential, it was gone. In went a crisp, brand new $100 bill that I vowed to spend. It was purely there to symbolize abundance. I also tucked in 3 bay leaves, which are traditionally considered prosperity herbs, and a tiny tumbled citrine crystal, known for attracting wealth. Every single time I open that wallet now, whether it's to grab my ID or pay for groceries, I whisper, there's always more where that came from. The shift was immediate and honestly, profound. I stopped flinching at grocery totals. I started humming in checkout lines. It wasn't about having more money in that moment, but about the abundance and respect for my finances. My environment, even something as small as my wallet, was now speaking a language of wealth to my nervous system instead of scarcity. Within 10 days of this ritual, I decided to list an old camera on Facebook Marketplace. I priced it fairly, I thought. The buyer messaged me, saying my post just felt lucky and offered $120 than my asking price. Seriously, who does that? It's because when you treat your money with reverence, when you create a sacred space for it, you're signaling to yourself and the universe that you are ready for more. You're inviting it in. Alright, prepare yourself for some serious cringe potential with this one, but also prepare for serious results. The hack: stand in front of the mirror, hand on your heart, look yourself dead in the eye, and say, "I love the way money loves me." I know. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. Your inner skeptic is probably screaming right now. Mine certainly was. But here's the thing. Most of us, without even realizing it, spend our entire day rehearsing broke jokes. We complain about prices, we lament our bills, we constantly reinforce a narrative of scarcity. Ugh, I can't afford that. Money just slips through my fingers. We're essentially affirming poverty. This mirror exercise is a direct, head-on counterattack to that ingrained negativity. It's about reprogramming your internal dialogue. I layered a little twist onto it to make it feel less like a therapy session and more like a daily habit. After the affirmation, while still brushing my teeth, so it felt totally mundane, I'd speak one money goal, as if it were already small, utterly normal, and completely inevitable. Something like, an extra $500 this week is boringly normal for me. Or, receiving unexpected income is just how my life works now. The boringly normal part is key. It takes the pressure off. It tells your subconscious, this isn't a big deal, it's just how things are. Day 13 of this ritual, I kid you not, an email popped into my inbox from a client I hadn't heard from since 2021. The subject line read, "Invoice for $2,500 by Friday?" My jaw dropped. That's exactly $500 per weekday. Exactly. I stared at my reflection, then at the email, then back at my reflection. Yep, I screenshot it. This isn't just fluffy affirmation. It's about consciously shifting your self-talk and expectation. When you truly believe, deep down, that money loves you, and that receiving extra funds is just boringly normal, you open yourself up to receiving it. It's about aligning your internal narrative with the abundance you desire. Hack 4. The threefold spend blessing. This hack completely transformed my relationship with spending. Before, every purchase, even something small, would come with a little pang of guilt. Was I being responsible? Should I really be buying this? It was exhausting. Now, before any purchase, whether it's tapping my card for a coffee or buying groceries, I pause. I take a deep breath. And I silently say, "Thank you for the money that lets me circulate more money." Then, I lightly tap my phone or wallet 3 times, once for me, once for the company I'm buying from, and once for the economy as a whole. Sounds corny, right? Absolutely. But this tiny ritual flips the entire dynamic from guilt into flow. Instead of seeing money as a finite resource I'm losing, I see it as energy I'm circulating. It's going out, yes, but it's also fueling growth, supporting businesses, and ultimately, creating more for everyone, including me. This mindful spending trains your brain to see money not as a scarce X you're desperately trying to hold on to, but as a loyal, abundant friend that's always moving, always returning. The results were subtle at first, but profound. My restaurant bills didn't change, but my anxiety around them completely vanished. Tipping felt genuinely fun, a joyful act of contribution. Then, at the end of week 2, I checked my cashback credit card. Usually I'd get about $13 a month back because I was constantly dodging small pleasures trying to save. This time, it hit $41. Why? Because I stopped resisting those small, joyful expenditures. I was allowing myself to participate in the flow. And guess what? Flow begets flow. When you release money with gratitude and intention, you create an energetic vacuum for it to return, often in unexpected ways. It's a powerful affirmation that there's always enough and more is always on its way. Hack 5, the Midnight Money Map. This is perhaps the most ethereal of the hacks, but in my experience, one of the most potent. As the lights go off and my phone is finally put down for the night, I spend just 5 minutes visualizing. Not just thinking about money, but feeling it. I close my eyes and vividly imagine my banking app showing a bigger, more exhilarating number. But here's the crucial part. I don't just see the screen. I feel the mattress beneath my back, the coolness of the sheets, the ambient sounds of the night. This anchors the image, the feeling of having that money, directly into my body. Neuroscience calls this embodied imagery, and it's incredibly powerful. Your subconscious mind, the part that runs 95% of your life, can't tell the difference between skin from screen, between a vivid imagination and actual reality. When you consistently feed it images and sensations of abundance, it starts to accept it as your truth. It begins to work behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, opening doors, and pointing you towards opportunities that match that internal reality. Night 22, I drifted off picturing a solid $5,000 extra in my account, feeling the relief and joy of that cushion. The very next morning, as I was sleepily making my oatmeal, an email notification caught my eye. It was from a long-forgotten freelance platform I'd worked on years ago. The subject line read, "Back Pay Refund Notification." My heart started to pound. I opened it to find a detailed breakdown of fees they had incorrectly deducted from my earnings years ago, which they were now refunding. The total? $4,013. I nearly dropped my oatmeal. It wasn't the exact $5,000 I'd visualized, but it was an incredibly specific, unexpected windfall that had absolutely zero to do with any current effort on my part. The universe, or my subconscious, or whatever you want to call it, had delivered. So, 30 days. 5 weird little sticky note rituals. The outcome? A staggering $4,800 in unexpected income. Not only that, but 0 panic attacks, which for me was almost more valuable than the money. A medical debt that had been hanging over my head for months quietly disappeared. And perhaps most importantly, a nervous system that now expects money, that anticipates good things, instead of bracing itself for financial disaster. I kept meticulous receipts because, honestly, even I look at that spreadsheet and think it still looks fake. But the numbers don't lie. If a skeptical, color-coding, spreadsheet-loving girl like me, who used to scoff at anything remotely woo-woo, can pull this off, just imagine what happens when you actually lean in and believe it's possible. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. Pick just one hack, seriously just one, and test drive it for 7 days. Give it a genuine shot. Then, when you start seeing those little shifts, those unexpected pings, those moments of grace, come back here. Drop Money flows to me now in the comments. Let's lock in that energy for everyone who reads this, creating a collective current of abundance. And hey, while you're at it, hit subscribe for more experiments where practicality meets a little bit of magic. Your move.